You're still watching the conversation on Lagos television. Interesting time in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. There are strong indications that the former governor of Kano State, Kwankwaso, Miyetti Allah, and others might be heavily sanctioned by the United States, going by the bill before the U.S. Congress over violation of religious freedom in Nigeria. If that bill should sail through, of course, Kwankwaso and others will be heavily sanctioned with visa ban and, of course, freezing of their assets by the United States government. This particular bill is titled Nigeria Religious Freedom and Accountability Act 2026. And, of course, there are insinuations here and there that the former governor of Kano State, Kwankwaso, has a lot of connection with the violation of religious freedom in Nigeria. It is still an allegation anyway, so we'll be looking at it from different angles on the program today, politically, diplomatically, and of course, what this will mean at the end of the day for the reputation of Dr. Rabiu Kwankwaso. We have joining us on the program this morning, Mr. Bolawole, our senior colleague in the industry. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
And joining us virtually is Mr. Dipo Olayoku, National Secretary, NNPP. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning, and good morning, Nigerians.
Let me start in the studio with Mr. Bola. What do you make of all these allegations? There is never a smoke without fire, and I trust the United States of America, likewise the Congress of that country, to have done its due diligence before coming out with these kind of allegations.
Yeah, the U.S. has the wherewithal to have information that even citizens of the country would ordinarily not have. Even information that our government would not have. The U.S., they have the wherewithal to have them. And that's why we talk about sharing intelligence. Intelligence that we don't have, they have it, they share with us. So they must have their intelligence for what they have done. But apart from that, we are Nigerians, we live in this country, and we saw what happened. We know that there had been religious intolerance in this country, and we know that there have been religious killings up to the point that we have been talking about genocide against a certain religion in this country. And some people have been mentioned, names have been mentioned, all Nigerians bandy names all over the place. You have names of people who are in this government, top level government, that have been mentioned. You have names of governors that have been mentioned. You have names of organizations that have been mentioned. People see all these things happen. People know, and they are familiar with all these things that happen. When people are killed, they are not killed by ghosts. They are killed by people. We read about statements made by organizations, Miyetti Allah and all the others. We read about statements made by governors, leaders of ethnic groups and things like that. So this information is really not coming new. Nigerians themselves are aware that there are top-level government functionaries, past and present, that are involved in this problem of religious intolerance, killings, genocide, and things like that. It's only now that some names are being mentioned, that people are now saying that this is that. Now we are mentioning the name of a former governor, we are mentioning the name of organizations that we all knew, we all saw all their activities, we all read the statements they made in the press, particularly when President Muhammad
Buhari
Buhari
was
was in charge. So this thing is not coming.
It's not new.
It's not new. It's not
Okay,
at all.
but perhaps the names now being attached to it could be considered as new. Let's come to the NNPP. Mr. Olayoku, you are a party man, and of course, you also should have a relationship with Mr. Rabiu Kwankwaso, of course, who's been a past governor, a past minister, and of course, a presidential candidate in Nigeria. Were you shocked when that list came out from the U.S. Senate?
Yeah. Thank you very much, LTV, for having us. As a matter of fact, there is any word that is even bigger or more pronounced than short. I think that is just disposition of things.
Okay.
Well, we are very happy that Nigerians, prominent Nigerians, have come out to say what the Kwankwaso of all people. Interestingly, if you listen to Riley Moore, the guy who is at the vanguard of this allegation.
The bill, right.
You remember that?
Go ahead, the bill. Go ahead.
Yes. You remember that some few weeks back, when the American president came up with this smoking gun, boot on the ground, to come and fight terrorists in Nigeria. Senator Kwankwaso was the only Nigerian leader who came out and said, no, Nigeria doesn't need this type of a thing. What Nigeria needs is things like, how do you help us with intelligence? How do you help us with ammunitions? And you remember that immediately Riley Moore attacked Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso. So when he came up with this idea that, because don't forget that according to him, Mr. Kwankwaso's offense was that he introduced Sharia when he was the governor of Kano State. And you laugh. Interestingly, there are about 12 states in the north that introduced Sharia. As a matter of fact, Zamfara was the first state to introduce Sharia. He didn't mention Zamfara. Then there's need for us to go back into history. That's why people that know Kwankwaso has been coming to say Kwankwaso of all people.
Right.
When the issue of Sharia started in Nigeria, championed by the governor of Zamfara then, Senator Yerima, the people of Kano started clamoring for that thing. Let us go and do a research. The bill that eventually introduced Sharia into Kano was a private bill, not a bill sponsored by the government, the executive, nor even members of the House of Assembly. It was a private bill.
Okay.
Eventually, when the bill was passed, because there was pressure from the people of Kano, the Kwankwaso reluctantly signed it into law. And when he signed it, he left it in abeyance. To the extent that in 2003, the Kwankwaso, despite the fact that he performed incredibly well in Kano, he lost the election to Malam Shekarau. Because the people of Kano said he was lackluster in the implementation of Sharia law.
Okay.
So interestingly, it is same Kwankwaso that lost the election because of Sharia, that he didn't implement it based on the law passed by the House of Assembly, that the American government now saying he has just intolerance. So there is more to it than meets the eye. And if you look at the Kwankwaso's lifetime, when he was the governor, he was the first governor that had what we call special advisors on religious matters, both Christian, Muslim, and then the traditional religion.
Mr. Olayoku,
when Senator Kwankwaso was the governor, he was...
Let me quickly cut your thoughts there for a second and ask on this angle. The NNPP at the moment, is your party factionalized? I'm asking that because there is another report credited to a National Secretary of the NNPP, Comrade Ogini Olaposi, who also stated that at this particular point in time that this is coming, Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso must be probed because according to him, he's one who's been polarizing the NNPP and one who's brought discord to the party. So is your party also factionalized at the moment, where you saying you were shocked that came in and another person is saying this man must be probed indeed?
There's freedom of expression, but if you can just Google INEC website, then you will know the National Secretary of NNPP. So we shouldn't go into, that one does not come into it. Just as you are there, just go Google NNPP, INEC website. Then the issue of somebody claiming to be NNPP, National Secretary does not arise.
Okay.
As we are seated, I'm seated in the national headquarters of our office.
Right.
All the transactions we have been doing with INEC, even up to yesterday, concerning the Rev City election that is coming up on Saturday, I don't think they have access to all those things.
Okay.
The INEC City election comes up on Saturday. We have uploaded, our candidates are the ones that are going to run the election. Our logo is on the ballot. So I wouldn't want us to
go into that.
Get a distraction from a very important discussion we are having today, sir.
Okay, all right.
Now, back to the issue of
It's all right. Jibola, you want to take
Okay, from your narration so far, it does appear that the NNPP is rejecting these allegations coming from the U.S. Congress. If your answer is yes, why are you rejecting these allegations? Because I know that there can't be a smoke without fire.
And that is the fire I have. That's just the fire I have just given to you. When the American president, towards the end of last year, came up with this smoking gun and stuff like that, attacking Nigeria, and I repeat that Senator Kwankwaso was the only Nigerian leader that came out and told the Americans that no, this is not what we want.
Does that make him innocent? Does that make him innocent?
Eh?
Does that make him innocent?
Of what?
Of the allegations?
That is why I'm giving you the trajectory of how the share, because according to Riley Moore, since the Kwankwaso's offense was he introduced Sharia in 1999 when he was a governor. That's why you need to listen. Some of these people that are flowing, some people don't say, oh, he was promoting terrorism. They didn't even know what the Americans were saying. The only offense, according to Riley Moore, is that he introduced Sharia law when he was governor in 1999. And that's why I told you that in the whole of Nigeria, 12 northern states introduced Sharia. Why is Mr. Kwankwaso? The first state that introduced it is Sasafara. Why didn't they mention that? And I told you that Mr. Kwankwaso lost the election in 2003 because the people of Kano felt he was lackluster about implementing the Sharia law passed by the House of Assembly. They told him that was why, because he performed creditably well. They said he was not supporting Sharia law and that he was supporting a President Olusegun who was anti-Sharia. That was why when he lost the election in 2003, President Washington made him Minister for Defense for Nigeria. So that is why there's need for us to situate this thing properly. It is not that he was promoting terror. He said he has intolerance because he introduced Sharia. And that's why I said in 12 states of the North, only him. Is it not because he replied to Americans that no, we don't need Americans here. What we need Americans for is to share intelligence, give us ammunition, and then the Nigerian government will do the needful. And like I said, Senator Kwankwaso in the last election was the only person, even while other people were having Muslim ticket, he has a bishop as his vice presidential candidate.
Right.
So how can you now accuse this man of religious intolerance? It is not.
Mr. Bolawole,
add something to that.
From all the things he said this morning, does that really justify the fact that we have his name? I mean, of course, these are allegedly now, on the list of, people who could also be sponsoring some of these things. So all of the things that Mr. Olayoku has listed as counting in favor of the former governor of Kano State, do they hold waters here?
Yes, thank you very much. My colleague has spoken very well as a good party man. But let me say that his party is factionalized already. NNPP is factionalized. The governor and many of the legislators have defected to the APC. The national leader, Rabiu Kwankwaso, was expected to defect with them. He did not. So now there is a problem in that party. The governor and some other leaders are in APC. The leader of the party, Kwankwaso, remains in NNPP. So they are still trying to manage their differences, but we can already see cracks in that party. That is as far as that is concerned. Concerning why Kwankwaso is on that list, the argument he has put up and which other people have put up is that it is not only Kwankwaso. There were 12 governors who signed Sharia and this blasphemy, the blasphemy law especially, into law. Why is it only Kwankwaso? The fact that they have started with Kwankwaso and they have not added the other 11 does not exculpate Kwankwaso from that allegation. All we can say is that, okay, add the other people. He is not the only one. That's the only thing we can say. We cannot say because he was not the only one, he is not guilty.
Right.
And then, you see, what he did as governor took place decades back. Now, the Americans have seen what is happening in Nigeria, and they decided that they needed to come to help Nigeria. Why was it the only one who now rose up to speak against it? Maybe the other people who started Sharia with him have now repented. They have now seen the light, and they are now going back on it. But he's still moving forward with it by saying that, no, this is we don't need American troops. What we need is we need only intelligence, we need weapons. Well, we have always gotten intelligence. Right. We've always gotten weapons, and it has not solved any problem. Kwankwaso was Minister of Defense. What did he do to make the country safer than it is now? So I will not be one of those people who will say Kwankwaso should be taken off the list. But I would say that other people
should be added.
Yes, who are also as culpable as he. Yes, should be added to the list. And of course, I am not also not going to say I'm not unmindful of the fact that they are reading political meanings into it. Is it because he did not defect into APC? Right. And then we must ask the question, assuming he had defected into APC with the governor, will this have happened? So I think that is the area they are looking at. Yes.
Right, Mr. Olayoku, as much as like we raised earlier that, of course, this is coming from U.S. Lawmakers, on your own part as an individual and as a party man, and of course these are allegations, do you subscribe to the fact that this should be investigated here in Nigeria, even though the allegations were raised in the U.S., so that Nigerians can also have an insight into why this happened, and perhaps more questions can be answered?
Well, thank you very much. The question you asked yourself, we asked is, the Kwankwaso signed Sharia something into law before 2003. And after that, he went ahead to become the Minister for Defense. Like my dear brother said, maybe there's a need for us to go and look at the history. When Senator Kwankwaso was Minister of Defense, we didn't have all this, what we are having today.
We didn't have what we minimal?
No, that's why I said there's need for us to go into history. You have to consider the situation in Nigeria between 2003 and 2007. And then compare it with what we have now. We didn't have stronger people who don't go into churches, round up about 300 worshippers, and then government would say they didn't know that such a thing happens. There are certain things we need to do on our own to know what was the security situation in Nigeria between 2003 when he was the Minister for Defense and 2007 when they left office with Dipo, and then we compare to today. Okay. So the question of whether they will add the others to the list or no is not the issue. America came out and said the Kwankwaso's offense is that he has what they call just intolerance because he signed Sharia law, something into law, act into the law. But the same America, where you have countries like Saudi Arabia, like Qatar, and stuff that are operating Sharia law, they are in bed with those guys that are ruling there. So that's American national politics for you. It shouldn't bother us. What really bothers us is what are Nigerians saying. That's why people have come out. Even Kwankwaso has not said much. People have come out to say, even leaders that are for people in Nigeria, you are accusing Kwankwaso of religious intolerance. There's more to it than me here. They can do the investigation, but the investigation they are going to do is that he signed Sharia Act into law, just like every other person. The only offense he committed against the Americans, especially Donald Trump, that does not tolerate decent voice is that when America said we are going to bring boots on ground, we are going to come with smoking guns, he said no. This will create more problem for Nigeria, which exactly is the same thing the Nigerian government said. So if Kwankwaso has not repented, as my dear brother said, that what means the Nigerian government has told America, no, you cannot come here. Whatever you want to do, come and discuss with us.
Okay.
Have they not repented? So it's a matter of, you understand the American politics.
Okay, of course.
And you know where the direction our dear brother Donald Trump is coming from. Now, hasn't he simmered down? Because the recognition that he needed, Nigerian government seems to have given him. There are reports that interestingly, there are American soldiers on ground, there are American equipment on ground. That's why he has simmered down. A person who called our dear country a country of particular concern, a person who comes and say Nigeria is a disgraced country. Should we hold such a person accountable when he talks? It's one of those things he talks. When somebody said our dear country is a disgraced country, and you are now counting on what the guy said, well, I think we have a long
way to go.
That's because the Kwankwaso has.
Okay,
yeah, maybe Mr. Olayoku is beginning to give another to these old allegations. And for me, let's look at the diplomatic implication of all these situations. If at the end of the day, the bill is passed and, of course, signed into law by President Donald Trump.
Yeah, I expect the bill to be passed. I expect the bill to be signed into law. I expect the impunity of our leaders to be checkmated. It's not only Kwankwaso, just like he has said,
right,
and just like I have written. It's not only Kwankwaso. In fact, a lot of people are surprised, like he said. He said if there's a word more than shocked, yes.
Right.
A lot of people are shocked. It's like you leave the elephant and you are running after the goat. That is how it looks like to many people. It's not as if Kwankwaso is innocent, that people think he's innocent. Because the blasphemy law, particularly, if you see the way Deborah was
killed.
Oh my God!
Right.
If you see the way they implement this law, the way they do this blasphemy law, anyone, any governor, any leader that signs a blasphemy law into action in Nigeria and allows people to perpetrate
like
this
right.
kind of bestiality deserves not just to be blacklisted, deserves to be tied to the stake and shot. Because in this modern age, you just accuse somebody, you don't take him to police station, you don't take him to any law court, nobody makes any pronouncement, and you just kill the person. And when you kill the person, you go about scot-free, celebrating it.
Right.
We saw when they cut the head of Gideon Akaluka, how they put it on a spike and paraded. We saw the way they killed this girl. If her classmates killed her, and then up to today, nobody
has said anything.
Has been taken to court.
Punished
He
for
has
that.
been punished.
Right.
The same thing happened all over the country. So, and all the governors that signed these blasphemy laws deserve to be in that same boat as Kwankwaso.
Okay.
It's not only Kwankwaso.
As we wrap up this conversation this morning, Mr. Olayoku, let's quickly go over. Of course, like you said earlier, we haven't heard much response from Rabiu Kwankwaso over this. And of course, so we agree that, of course, it's either he's waiting for things to be clearer or he has decided not to utter any word concerning this. But going forward, even though earlier you were insinuating that this could also be some form of propaganda, but as we go ahead in days ahead, as the lawmakers in the U.S. pursue this particular issue to a logical conclusion, what are your thoughts? What do you hope to see in coming days?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's still a bill and being considered by the American Congress. People have started talking that they understand, if you know the type of person that Kwankwaso is, that America will come up with this idea of religious intolerance. That's why people that know him, people that have followed his political development growth, people that have interacted with him personally, he is somebody I meet almost every day. I can vouch for him that the intolerance that one is definitely far away from him. But you know, like America is, just everything is about American politics. America has got what they wanted from Nigeria. They are already here. They are already, the recognition that they wanted our government to give to them, they have given them. So, but as the matter is still in the Congress, Nigerians and even international people are there talking to the Americans that definitely you will really misfire this time around, because if you are talking of somebody that has religious intolerance, so shouldn't be part of it, because people that know him. So we believe that the matter is in American Congress, and then the congressmen are more reasonable than some of the individuals in the American Congress. And then the matter will be subjected to public hearing, where Nigerians and even people in the international community are already reaching out to them. That in this case of Kwankwaso, they have made a very big mistake.
All right. Let's take your final words on this. What are your expectations in coming days? Even though you think that this bill will scale through, before the lawmakers.
Yeah, my expectation is that the bill will scale through. My expectation is that more Nigerians will be added into the list. My expectation is that some former governors, that even some serving governors that we know that have this element of religious intolerance will be added. Some people even in the presidency, high up in the presidency, that we all know the role they played in bringing about Boko Haram and all the others. And those that, even traditional rulers, those that have spoken in support of Miyetti Allah, that have spoken about herdsmen, that have not spoken out against the religious intolerance, they should all be added onto the list. And let people know that there is a limit to the impunity that we have in this country, and that human lives are valuable, that human lives are more important than cows and than any religious sentiments. I expect the bill to pass through.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We'll have to leave this conversation here this morning. Thank you so much, Bolawole, journalist, for coming, finding time to be with us on the program this morning. And of course, joining us virtually today is Dipo Olayoku, National Secretary of the NNPP. Thank you so much for giving us insight into this conversation today.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, we'll leave it here this morning. We'll take a quick break. When we return, the Lagos conversation will be here. Two conversations will be happening on that side of the table today. The first one will be here after the short break.
The views expressed on this program do not represent that of the producer, management of Lagos Television, or the Lagos State Government. They remain the perspectives of those expressing them. Thank you for staying with Lagos Television.